Hey everyone, Richard here. So I wanted to do a short video on some of the food that we prep from a protein perspective. I'm going to be showing you what we do for grilled chicken thighs and then a lean ground turkey breast. So I'm going to flip the camera a couple times, so if it seems like it's moving around, don't worry about it. But I just want to show you what we do. So the first thing we do is I have these skinless and boneless chicken thighs. Now you can use chicken thighs with the bone and the skin. I would recommend that you take the skin off if you're going to use the ones with the bone in. And the ones with the bone in are even juicier than these. But anyway, so just to show, so what I add to them, and look, on your plate, if you shove them all together close up, you'll see that you don't waste any of the seasoning that we have. And here's some of the seasoning. We have chili powder, garlic powder, cumin, onion powder, of course, sea salt, and black pepper. You have to just be careful with the garlic powder because garlic powder will burn, especially on a high heat grill. So you don't want to use as much garlic powder. Of course, you could use fresh garlic, but that even burns more, right? So garlic will burn, and when garlic burns, it turns bitter, it tastes bitter, so you don't want to use too much. But the other seasonings do hold up well against the heat. So anyway, the other thing we add is from your hammer and chisel or your, any of the Beachbody, I add olive oil, so one of the oil containers. And what we do is we just sprinkle it around. That's one container, and depending on how many meals this takes, you can divide that out. So we add that in, just mix it around, and then we'll add all of these seasonings. So I'll do the same thing here to the ground turkey, right? I'm going to add the olive oil to the ground turkey. Why? Let me just adjust the camera. See, I'm wearing my Body Beast shirt. You want to add that to the turkey. The turkey can be dry. Even if you cook it quickly on high heat, it can be very dry. So you want to add just a little bit of olive oil. And let me go get that. Okay. So again, we're going to take the measurements. So it's one of the containers from the colored containers, the oil container. I think this is maybe the seed container. I don't use the container, but it's the orange colored one, just to let you know. And again, we're adding a little oil just to put a little fat in, and depending on how many servings you get, you would take that amount of oil and divide it over how many servings and add that if you're counting calories. So that's an easy way to do. The other thing is you always want to start first with the salt, and I like fine sea salt, as you can see. And you want to add a decent amount. Now, I only add seasonings to one side, okay? Because I find that what I'll do afterward is I'll mix the chicken up. But I find if you add it to one side, it's enough for both. So, and especially with the non-salt seasonings, like this is onion powder, not onion salt. Don't use onion salt. Don't use onion powder. I mean, unless you really like it. I find, though, that when you use those, it adds way too much salt to the dishes. And as you can see, I'm putting a lot less of the garlic powder. And here's chili powder. Now, this might seem spicy, but it's really not. It just adds like a slap of flavoring. And I use that word specifically. It doesn't overpower, but it just adds enough. And then we'll also add some cumin. And here's the organic cumin, so this is pretty good too. And this, I like to add a decent amount. Now, if you add too much cumin, it really can overpower the dish. And then I'm going to, again, put the camera down because I want to add freshly ground black pepper. Now, I happen to use this one from McCormick's. You can see that it has 3 settings. The first setting is very fine. This is more coarse, and this is very coarse. I put it in the middle. I actually like the freshly ground black pepper to be a little bit coarse. I find that it adds more of the bite that I like when I'm cooking. And remember, I'm only seasoning one side, and then I'm going to spin the chicken around, mix it up together. So don't be afraid to add a decent amount of black pepper. Okay? So now let me pick this up again, and we're going to show you how, see, we only have it on one side. So you want to make sure that you're getting the spices on all sides. And one of the reasons why we put the chicken so close when we season is you'll get less on the tray, more on the meat. And as you notice, the oil is now liberally covering all the chicken. And we didn't really use that much oil. I mean, we really could have added more oil, but you don't want to drown it in oil. The other reason that you don't want to put too much oil is because when you go on the grill on a high heat, and I set my grill to 500 or 600. I have a Weber grill, and it gets really hot. You do want some flame, right? You know, that high heat flame, but you don't want it to the extent that there's a inferno inside the grill, because that really will just create a unappealing taste on the chicken. So there's chicken. That's all done. And I'm going to do the same thing with the turkey. I'm going to add to the ground turkey. I already added the oil. I'm going to add the same spices and seasonings. And then I'm going to show you how I do that. I make turkey meatballs. So I found that I don't have a lot of time to prep, right? And after a while, you've been doing it week after week. It's a pain, right? And you're like, oh, I have to make more and more. So you want to do shortcuts. Ice cream scoop, right? So when you have the ground turkey, as you can see, you scoop it against the container and then you pop it out, right? Pretty slick. You can do it really fast. You can bang them out on the thing, and you don't even have to form it. Just use the ice cream scooper, the melon ball scooper, whatever it is. I think this is a melon ball scooper, although you can use it for ice cream if you were doing smaller portions. But it's fantastic. It does it very quick. And again, after every week meal prep, you know, if you can save 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 10 minutes there, it really just makes it that much more efficient, and you don't seem to dread it as much doing meal prep. Because again, if you're doing the same thing every week, you might be doing different foods, but if you're doing the same type of meal prep, the same types of foods, whether it's ground turkey this week, ground chicken, or whatever it is, you want to take shortcuts that still give you the good food, tastes good, but it takes less to prepare, less time to prep it. So, all right, I'll be back again when we get to the grill part. Thanks. So here we are. I just wanted to show you, that's the turkey, the ground turkey. Okay. I've mixed it, I've put all the seasonings. Sorry about the camera. I just wanted to show you on the, let's see if I can get this. Show you. So what you do, let me move this out of the way. So you take your scooper here, and you scoop it along the side like this, and then you just drop it in. So you can do that fairly quickly. I mean, you can get a decent amount, as you can see, right? And it goes pretty quick, and my hand isn't even touching the ground turkey. So again, now eventually I'm going to touch it because I'm going to have to put it on the grill. But I'm just showing you how very quick, see? And again, we're just scooping it, getting it along the side. So it's a very, very quick process. Very quick process to do this. And again, my hands aren't touching it, so I don't have raw turkey on my hands. I mean, again, I'll have it when I'm at the grill. I'll take a paper towel to wipe my hands off. But doing it quick, and I learned over time that's a fast way to do it. And again, it might save you, because instead of having to manually first scoop it, because you want each of them to be somewhat consistent in size so they cook evenly, right? You don't want some turkey meatballs cooked in 2-3 minutes and other ones take 20 minutes because they're the size of a softball, right? And if you have to do it and, you know, put it in your hand and roll it and form it, it takes time. Now, if that's your passion, God bless you, but I have better things to do than to make meatballs all day. So, again, quick time saver, and we'll start again once I get on the grill. Okay, we're back. So we have our hot grill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I take the chicken thighs, and there's two sides, right? So there's the top side that has, you can see it here, the top side, and then there's the underside, which has more of the nooks and crannies. I put it first top side down. Okay, you want to put top side down first. Let that cook and get a nice sear. And again, you can remember, see, that side, you want to just put that down, and you can hear the sizzle, and that's the nice sound we like, is the sizzle. Put them a little bit closer. And these will cook maybe 4 to 6 minutes on this side, maybe more, maybe 6 to 7 minutes actually. And then that's what it looks like. And close it. So we're going to let that cook, and then when those are done, I'll put the turkey meatballs on. And that's just basically putting the meatballs on. Those you cook about 2 or 3 minutes on the first side, and then maybe 2 minutes on the second side, because excuse me, they're pretty small, and this will go up to 550, 600 degrees. So you want them to cook at a high heat, short amount of time. It blasts it like a furnace, but it puts a nice char on the outside, and they'll be nice and juicy on the inside. The same thing for the chicken thighs, a higher heat. And the grill was at about 525 when I put them on, which is pretty good. So again, what we want to do is we want to get a good sear, and then when we flip it over, it'll cook. It'll finish cooking, but we want most of the cooking to be done on one side. You want that nice, you want that nice grilled sear. So, okay, talk to you soon.